Okay, let's get started. 11th, interoperable digital design 3. Okay. Next week we're gonna have midterm exam. Okay. And we will get started the final digital design presentation application method using animation clips and video, okay, video making, video-based design presentation. So you will gonna learn a kind of very sort of advanced digital design presentation method, video-based presentation from next week. Anyway, here I list up what to do today. As always, we're going to deal with some geometric modeler issue, mostly using 3D Max, lab exercise 1 through 4, and then we're going to move on to parametric modeling application, Vasari, another extension from the last week, okay? And then you're going to import that model into your Max for making some best render shot, I told. And that's going to be your design anyway. So there are some mandatory submission requirements for today. And the last lab exercise is going to be some demonstration, preview of more BIM applications. And today's lecture also something about beyond the design, after design. There are something more, something new when you are using BIM, okay? Building information modeling. Of course, this is kind of interoperable digital design method, okay? But before handling some theoretical or some complex cases or some technical aspects and so on, I would like to bring your attention to this kind of actual case, okay? On actual case, I would like to show you one use scenario in an actual project, okay? Actual project means currently ongoing project. Okay, let's take a look at this old apartment, okay? This is actual, real, physical apartment in Yeongwol City, Gangwon-do, Korea, okay? When I went there, there is a very typical and common old apartment. We can find out anywhere in our homeland, in Seoul, anywhere. Anyway, this is a typical 5-story building without elevators, 30-year-old, 35-year-old, I'm not sure. But anyway, there are only blueprints, okay? They are blueprints. Someone drew it by hand 30, 40 years ago, right? For this apartment building design and construction. And I took this picture from Yeongwol City, how can I say, City Hall building. Someone showed me, and I took this picture using my iPhone, okay? And then our project is reconstruction, okay? Remodel this. Actually, we can demolish that building and construct new building. That's so-called new building project. But we determined to make a kind of renovation, okay? Rehabilitation of this building for new customers, new consumers. Anyway, there are only blueprints. How to make design, how to make progress in terms of design and actual construction. That's the question. Conventionally, we can draw these plans and elevations, something like that, such typical and standardized drawings by using CAD, as always we do, okay? We can make them SketchUp, right? For visualizing and analyzing in 3D. But actually, we decided to use BIM. So we use the BIM application to generate such building models, okay? For saving time, for doing something more, okay, before construction. Now this is kind of design phase. We just get started this project, and actually this building converted into this BIM model, and now several people are involved in this project for designing, structural analysis, some more design review tasks, and some strategic things and budgeting and so on, and planning actual construction and so on. So of course there are always scenarios, okay? This is existing building. So by using blueprints, converting that existing building into this BIM model is kind of the first stage work and very easy work. And this is housing unit, okay? Typical 3-bedroom and 1 kitchen, 1 dining room, 1 bathroom. Very typical style of floor plan for 1 housing unit. This is building core, and 2 housing units are there, okay? Anyway, this is existing building, and here is the scenario, okay? Typical reconstruction scenario. Probably you know how many types we can make some extension. Okay, firstly, make a taller building, okay? This one, this green color shows you this 5-story building can be 7, 8-story building, okay? For more units, for more people, more consumers. Making a taller building or wider, bigger building, okay? Kind of annex, but anyway, it's going to be connected to this existing building. The third one is making an annex. Different type of new construction, but it's going to be 1 single building or anyway connected building, okay? So typically we can make 3 scenarios, and we studied lots of design alternatives. So why we need this BIM model? If we generate them into just 2D CAD model, structural analysis, design review, building code review, or some plan development, we have to generate a lot of separate CAD files or CAD models, computational files, and so on. But by using BIM, we can make some auto-generated subsets, sub-files for structural analysis, energy consumption analysis, preview, review, and design review, and architecture code for some building permit system requirements, and so on, okay? And design housing unit, plan developments, and so on. Amount of applications are available when we are using BIM. This is that diagram, okay? Blueprints, we can make existing building models, but existing building model is just starting point. We have to make some scenario for building mass, okay? Building structure. Even if we make that taller building, that building must be safe, okay? Safe building. So we have to analyze some structural analysis issues and some mechanical system or some systematic aspects of the building, physical structure, and so on. Another side important issue is housing units, okay, so-called plans. Which type of families or persons going to be occupied by this new building after reconstruction? Sometimes they could be just ordinary families or someone who are disabled or elderly people and so on, okay? This is kind of city-occupied building now. So they gonna make this building for elderly or disabled or both, okay? Certain type of housing welfare purpose the building anyway. So amount of different scenario in terms of housing units, okay? So this housing units development can be done by some experts in this aspect. Building structure can be analyzed and designed by that experts, okay, professionals. And then final building could be one of them, okay, among several design alternatives. By using BIM, Revit, easy and quick modeling has been possible. So I quickly show you as an example for 3 different type of design alternatives for existing building. This is taller building, okay, expanded vertically, and this one expanded horizontally, okay. This one is new building here, and they share the core, okay, building core. So 3 different type of scenario for building structure, okay. And next important thing is housing units. Single housing, okay, housing unit for single, probably elderly people or some disabled, something like that, okay. Another one for 2. Different housing unit art for 3. This is kind of shared housing, okay. 3 disabled or 3 elderly people can share this building in this kind of housing unit. This is housing unit module, which has appropriate area and number of units, number of facilities, and so on, okay. The shape can be varied by according to the building structure and so on. So this is scenario simply based upon 3 design alternative of the building and 3 different type of housing unit scenario, okay. So total 9 scenarios can be given like this way. By using AutoCAD SketchUp, you have to make all 9 alternatives again and again. Very iterative and time consuming, okay? But if you make that by using building information modeling, by using integrated model, you have to generate 3 building types, and separately you can make those housing units in separate file. What you need to do is placing them just like you place your furniture, chairs on your floor plan, okay? Even if they are some collection of the components. So this is design application alternative number 1, okay? Building type A and housing unit type 1. Building type A, housing unit B. Building type 1A, housing unit 3. So 3 different alternatives. And number 4, of course, building type B and housing unit 1 and 2 and more, okay? So this is alternative number 4, number 5, number 6. Design alternative, building B and housing unit number 3, okay? They are all separate and different. But all they are not AutoCAD or SketchUp file. All they are some snippet, screenshot views in Revit, from Revit, okay? So of course, this is core shared method of BIM-based building mass. Building structure type type C and number 1, okay? Housing unit 1, 2, 3. So total design alternative 9 can be visualized. But actually visualization is one tiny part of BIM or this kind of integrated approach to building design and construction, okay? Of course, there are more applications. And my focus and my research topic is usually those more applications, okay? So I would like to show you very fundamental and easy scenario or some examples. Firstly, design review and analysis. This is the map for this physical building. Here, this is the map of this Yeongwol city, Gangwon-do in Korea. This is exact location of this existing building. And this building placed this location by using this longitude, altitude information precisely, okay? And then what we can do, of course, simply we can analyze daylight system, okay? According to the longitude, altitude of this site. And then we can generate this kind of sun path for this building, new building or design alternative, whatever. This is existing building case, just for your information. And then we can generate some report against that daylight analysis example result. And next one is area calculation and analysis. You know, there is some Revit room schedule, okay, which simply calculates and returns area numbers. This case, we can compare 9 different scenarios. For example, we can compare this building type C and design alt housing unit number 2 can make how many units, how many number of units, and how big area for shared space, how big space for private space, and so on. Several different criteria we can generate. So this is the way of creating such area calculation and analysis. Take a look at this one. Department name, public, private, building common. By separate those categories, we can generate precise numbers and we can compare. Okay, design alt number 5 is better than alt number 6, something like that way. Okay, that is very good and useful information when you are choosing design alternatives for actual construction. Actually, building design is still ongoing, but soon to be finished and determined, and construction will be scheduled and undertaken soon. Next example is preliminary energy analysis. Now computer, this Revit knows the exact location and building geometry and this weather data. Weather data means some statistical information derived from additional database. So now this building is kind of ready for report energy consumption. Okay, how many kilowatt electricity required for this building maintaining a year, hourly based calculation, and so on. So this kind of BIM application, Revit has this kind of energy calculation options and utility. So if you use this result and compare at the end, you can generate this report. This is auto-generated report, okay? Electricity power, how much CO2 gonna be emit from this building for a year, and so on, okay? In terms of sustainable design, this report provides you carefully and precisely calculated numbers, okay? Not just this is a good building for sustainability. That is just a phrase, just declaration. But this report can display you the numbers, okay, in energy analysis. So the building design is kind of final way. And next time, if we have chance, I'm going to show you some precisely designed final model. But actually, by using Revit, that is one good use case and use scenario. But actually, there are more things, okay, more applications and more ways, okay. Let me show you another use case. I introduced you this one before. You know homestyler.com. You know how to make it. But actually, in the classroom, in your design studio, or even your in graduation exhibition work, whatever it is, or design competition, actually this application looks kind of small tool, but this one is kind of very useful and powerful. Actually, I introduced you this approach concept before, CAD versus BIM. Your design by homestyler.com, another design by AutoCAD. What are different between those two different approaches? And in terms of CAD history, what is geometric model? What is building information modeling? I believe you now you can easily separate them, and you can take advantages of two different approaches. But anyway, this is homestyler.com mobile version. But by using PC version, you can make this kind of design easily, quickly. But even if you are designing very easy and quick, it doesn't mean that this is kind of low quality design tool or something like that, okay? This is much better than SketchUp or some 3D Max and so on, because this one can contain information and this one provides one good source of your more applications, okay? So by using this homestyler.com, when you generate this kind of design, in CAD model, they are just geometry, I told you before. But you can save Revit file, and this Revit file can be opened in your Revit interface, and you can make some more things, okay? So this is the diagram to show you the process of abstraction, making an abstract for your design development, but all they are conventional, okay? This process is going to be changed, moved, shifted because of building information modeling, okay? In AutoCAD, they are just geometric property, geometric object, polygons, okay? But in Revit or even in homestyler.com, it's a door object, wall object, and so on, okay? So only BIM authoring tools can draw this door object. This is object, not geometry, just a simple mere geometry, okay? Computers do what we have drawn. Let computers do what we have drawn. This is conventional approach. And let computers do what we have done. This is fundamental and basic approach in BIM. So this is homestyler.com. Of course, this is Revit or another BIM application, BIM tool. But anyway, you have to remind that our focus is now on information, so-called building information, okay? So this is the diagram to compare difference between geometric model and building information model. Simply, now you can easily recognize those two different branches, okay? First one is editable poly or some utilities, geometric utilities in 3D Max, Rhino, SketchUp, and so on. Such geometric tool, you have to know point, edge, polygon, base, and so on, okay? Geometric components. But in this parametric modeling tool or BIM tool, you have to know building components, okay? Building object, building elements, such as doors, windows, sills, columns, door handle, rails, and so on, okay? This is curtain wall panel and its assembly example. Last week, you experienced to generate this part and assembly. So today, we're gonna make something like this example, another advanced one. But anyway, part and design component assembly example simply compares two main difference between geometric and information-centered approach, okay? Let's take a look at this example. Actually, this is Youngworld City apartment example that I showed you before. That one has been modeled by Revit, but for visualization purpose, we don't need to higher level of detail BIM model for actual design process by using Revit. For just for visualization, design, visualization, and presentation, we used homestyler.com, okay? Very easy and quick. As you know, this kind of design can be done in 10 minutes, okay? And 3D model, this one is the example, the smallest unit for one person, okay? Housing unit. Actually, designing building mass is not that easy when you are using this homestyler.com, okay? There is no concept of floors or and so on. But one single unit home styler tool is easier tool and even powerful than Revit or other tools. So this is the case, and this is the another example for different type style of housing unit for that reconstruction project. Okay. So total 3 examples here, and it's 2D plan generation by AutoCAD file and 3D Revit model. Of course, there are something missing. Okay, if the object defined in homestyler.com, but in Revit there is no such object, that object they can be missing. That's current problem or some limitation. But anyway, they easily converted into Revit model, and further design work or allocating this unit to building model is kind of rest of work, kind of good and powerful, much better starting point compared to AutoCAD or SketchUp, something like that. Okay? So we used this approach, something for visualization. We used this home styler, and of course we integrate design housing units into BIM model. And actually, I told you at the beginning of today's lecture, there are always more things, more applications in BIM. So let's take a look at some example cases related what you have learned, okay, so far by using Revit or Vasari. This is the design alternative selection case for this actual building. All they are designed by Revit, Vasari, okay? You remember last week our lab exercise. For a building, you can make some patterns, and you can open some part generation using Revit family file. So in this case, one single family is looking like this V-shaped curtain system, okay? That one can be assigned to this building skin, front skin. How many components? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 by around 12, okay? Precisely counted number of curtain wall panel system has been loaded to this building design. And take a look at this actual picture, okay? According to that design, parametric design, almost same. Actually, totally same, okay? Because that one is kind of constructible, okay? Measurable for physical construction. So even if something is missing, some different type of patterns, anyway, they all designed by, modeled by, tested by BIM applications, okay? So now you can make something like this example for new building. And this case is, okay, let's take a look at the location for this one. This is our location, okay, Hanyang University. Simply because geospatial information, GIS data can be imported into BIM tool, Revit, Vasari. So this is Hanyang University location. And what is this ribbon? This is weather data. Weather data about wind, okay? Wind speed. Okay, this is west, north, okay? Northwest. You may feel this direction wind is kind of very strong, okay? When you are standing just in front of our building, you feel wind direction is mostly from northwest, okay? Simply because that is our weather data. Weather data simply says our university locations, statistical analysis against this kind of weather data, okay? So by using this is windrows, okay? Windrows. To draw wind speed, this is the strength of the wind speed, and this is the direction of the wind, okay? by using this geospatial information in Revit or Vasari, this is our building, okay? College of Human Ecology building. Even if this one is very simply modified, generated. Anyway, this is physical picture, Google map picture, and this is the library and HIT building, and some music hall here, okay? ROTC building, and so on. So only 3 building mass, and this is another case, more building structure mass somewhere in Manhattan. And we can easily slice. Slice means make building floors, levels, okay? And we can generate this kind of area calculation information against that building mass. You know how to make this building mass, and you know how many seconds you need for making this building mass, okay? Just 1 second. But this one can calculate total area of that building, okay? Of course, this number going to be changed, but close to this one at last, I think. Okay, by using this kind of windows, you can place your model, and this is sun path, okay, for this precise location. As I show you today's actual case, Yeongwol City old apartment case, this one is another type of simple review and analysis, and you can make this kind of visualization. This is actually animation. Next week, we're going to deal with this kind of example, demonstration. But if you place your location, and you can generate this kind of wind tunnel analysis, okay? Just clicking and opening this tool in BIM application. No need to make some complicated things. Anyway, this is one type of application. And how about this? This is downloaded by Trimble 3D Warehouse, F22 Raptor. But anyway, you can load this SketchUp file into Revit or Vasari, and you can easily turn on wind tunnel analysis in front direction, something like that. Any object, any building mass, and so on. Just, I like to bring your attention, so that is why I show you this kind of some visually good examples, but there are, of course, lots of more things. And today's lab exercise at the end, or probably next week, we're going to deal with something like this, applications, examples, okay? So again, you have to know pros and cons, diverse kinds of applications in digital design domain, okay? And then you have to take advantages, which application for your specific goal, specific objectives, you have to know which one you have to use for your design, or making progress, alternatives, parametric modeling, or simple and easy visualization, whatever. So this is the main issue, which application I have to know. That is why I always tell you, you have to know some behind the technologies or fundamentals, and to take kind of self-train for user interface issues. And then you can learn any applications you want, okay? And you have to know, you have to compare pros and cons. But if you want to use only SketchUp, your design creativity can be limited within SketchUp. That's my point here, okay? Let's move to the lab exercise after the break, okay?